The sun's out again today, and I guess now they're saying with this heat wave, it's dangerous. Apparently everyone's buying air conditioners and stuff everywhere, as if I guess this is like some kind of national disaster, so to speak. And what's going on today? With all that talk before about a new Microsoft Windows coming, everyone speculated it's Windows 11, and sure enough it is. As Microsoft announced, they have like a new operating system coming out. It looks fancier and all that, but I think what was really fascinating with the announcement was how apparently their strategy for this is to try to make it compatible with all the other programs and applications in other operating systems, for example, like in Android. So that's kind of interesting. So they're trying to be the solution for everyone. Now, of course, it requires more hardware in terms of better one, which is kind of expected. For example, like a processor 1 gigahertz, they recommend for your RAM 4 gigabytes. But the interesting thing is, in terms of, I guess, a piece of hardware that you will actually need to be able to use this is the TPM, the Trusted Platform Module. It's basically like a chip, so to speak, the easiest way to say it, that has encryption software and techniques for things like passwords and all that. Again, not all processors and stuff actually have this. The newer ones should, but that's something you need to check. For a person like myself, where my computer is over like a decade old almost, it actually wouldn't support it. But I guess for a person like me, that's why it was good, I guess. And during this time when all those computer parts are too expensive to buy, I guess it was good, because if this is a requirement now and you're planning to get a new computer or building one, you might look into this to make sure you're actually getting something that's future-proof. There were other things too, like apparently for gamers, they're making like this Xbox subscription, so to speak, if that's what you want to call it. Think of it kind of like Netflix for video games, where you pay like a monthly fee and then you can try any of these games that you want or play them, so to speak, which is kind of expected, I guess, nowadays for a lot of companies. But for the upgrade itself, they said it will be free. And some systems that are coming out, I guess, pre-built and all that, will have this installed. And some other interesting stuff I read, seemed like it dealt a lot with trying to get, I guess, officials or organizations to actually release information for investigations of sort. I guess the first one's like that story of the Gatwick drones. This story just keeps on going, huh? This one says, Gatwick drones, Sussex Police criticized for unpublished report. Flights were cancelled in droves in December 2018 as police investigated multiple reported drone sightings. Armed officers stormed the home of Paul and Elaine Gate, who received a $55,000 settlement for wrongful arrest and false imprisonment. You guys remember that one? It seemed like they were so desperate to say it was a drone. They literally just arrested someone who flew things like what, model aircrafts and all that, with no real proof that they were actually in any way involved in it. So I guess this report would potentially shed some light into the situation, but it says here, Sussex Police said the report contains national security details. The force commissioned the independent review into what happened following the chaos. The PA news agency submitted a Freedom of Information request for a copy of the report a year ago, but the force failed to release the document or officially respond to the request. After months of saying redacted versions of the report was being prepared, Sussex Police now says it is applying part of the FOI Act that exempts information held with a view to future publication without setting a date. Nobody has been charged over the disruption. Well, what is that? Basically, they want to hide this for some odd reason, hiding behind the fact, oh, it has national security details. And as the wrongly arrested couple says, this appears to us not about lessons learned and preventing harm in the future, but about protecting the reputation of the Sussex Police Force from scrutiny and criticism of our pain, and the unlawfulness and injustice that occurred to us. I would agree. I mean, I don't even think that was, how do you say, enough in terms of their compensation and stuff, going through all that, having the whole world condemn them in terms of, oh, you guys were the one that did this, etc., etc. And at the end, there has been, what, no proof of a drone or anything like that. I think this is important overall too, because there's so many places around the world, even here in Canada, where so many people try to use this incident to say things like, oh, ban this tech and that. I think if anything, again, this is a classic example of hysteria. And in terms of, I guess, revealing information, this one was a little unfortunate. Remember that story where they found hundreds of dead bodies of kids in residential schools? Well, recently, I guess in a different area, it says here, Saskatoon Catholic Cathedral covered with paint after discovery of 751 unmarked graves. Man, imagine that. They found even more, I guess, sites with buried children bodies and all that. A lot of people are saying they're not surprised. But the interesting thing is, I guess before, a lot of the operators, like of the schools, they're like saying, well, we're not going to give out the information, I guess, for privacy reasons. But now, I guess, in light of this, it says Catholic group gives formal commitment to disclose all records from BC and Sask residential schools. I would think that would be the most appropriate thing to do as well, because you want to get down to the bottom of it too, right? Which makes me wonder, are they gonna try to ban things like drones and stuff in media from this area as well? If they do that again, it really makes me wonder why. Don't you want more people to be investigating it in general? And what does that have to do about, I guess, like manned aircraft safety, for example, with things like a drone, if that's the case again? And the last thing I read was this. I don't know, was this supposed to be good or bad? Essentially, this one says 15 arrests, tear gas, and flip cop car as Montreal Canadiens eliminate Golden Knights advance to finals. So that's supposed to be a good thing, where the team, for example, went to the Stanley Cup finals, but I guess with the celebration and so forth, people were trying to control the crowd like the police, and they fired things like tear gas and all that. Celebration going wrong, and from my understanding too, people were using things like fireworks as well. Is there actually like a huge restriction in that area right now still, in terms of, I guess, gatherings and all that? Because I guess people don't care in this case, they just want to celebrate, right? Alright, see you guys later.